Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Many of you have been asking me to show you when I do my winter Aerogarden planting, and the time has come. I went ahead and cleaned off all of these Aerogarden units today, and we're going to go ahead and plant them. I did learn some things from my first planting that I'm going to try to correct this time around. My first planting, I tried to fill every single hole with a pod. And if you do that, the plants are just going to get too crowded. So let me tell you what I'm going to do this time around to see if I get more success and my plants live longer because they're not that crowded and fighting for life. Large Aerogarden here, this is going to be my main tomato Aerogarden. I'm only going to plant 3 of them. One here, and one here. The rest of these pods will eventually get capped off with a cap that they make for it. I'm actually waiting for them to get here from Amazon. However, in order to use the light from this and not have to use one of those, I'm going to go ahead and germinate my lettuce pods on these. I'm going to put them in these holes, these 6, until they germinate. Then once they germinate, I'm going to turn one of my other small Aerogardens on, and I'm going to put 4 in each. So I'm going to be able to shut one off for a week or 2 until these germinate over here, and then I'll move them over to the other Aerogarden. On my small Aerogardens, these 2 that you see over here, I'm going to plant lettuce on them. And I'm only going to use 4 pods for each Aerogarden. I'm going to leave 2 pods open in each Aerogarden. That way, when my lettuce starts to die off, I can put a couple in there to start germinating again. All right, and then I can continually keep that going and have lettuce throughout the entire winter. In this Aerogarden right here, I'm going to fill every single pod in that Aerogarden with nothing but cilantro. The reason I'm doing that is because we use cilantro a lot here. And to be honest, the cilantro that they sell at the store, not only has it gone up in price by like 4 times. When I first got here a few years back, a small bag of cilantro was 79 cents. I just purchased the bag yesterday for $2.79. So what I'm going to do with that rear small Aerogarden is I'm going to plant nothing but cilantro, continue cutting it as it's growing and freezing it. That way I always have a nice batch of cilantro in the freezer if I need it, and I always have it fresh as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the one in the back. The one in the back is the only one that's going to be full all the time. So let me go ahead and show you how it is that we do these. I wanted to show you this as well. These are called blank pods. This is a pod that has nothing in it. It comes with this little gizmo right here. I don't know what to call them. And then it comes with a blank inner where you can put the seeds in. So all you do is you just put this in here, put the seed in the pod, and then you put a lid on it, which I'll show you here in a second, and then you'll be able to grow your own seeds instead of having to buy brand new seeded pods all the time. It's a lot cheaper to do it this way. As you can see, this is pretty much what the system is. You have a lid with your pod holes, and it's attached to a small water pump that circulates the water that you put inside. All you have to do is put the water inside until the system tells you that it's full. This right here will tell you full when you've got enough water in there. That way you don't overfill it. And it will also tell you to add water if there's not enough water in there. Once you've put your water in there, you've added some plant food, and put your pods in here, all you have to do is tell this system what it is that you're planting. And throughout the planting season, it'll give you tips on how to take care of that plant. So for example, on this one, I'm going to be planting tomatoes. So when I tell this system that I'm planting tomatoes, it'll tell me things that I need to do while the plants are growing to help it grow better. Like for example, trim above these leaves here. Don't let the leaves touch the light. Make sure that you have the light all the way down when you first put them on to germinate. It gives you little hints like that. So it's very user-friendly. The smaller system is different. The smaller system, you just turn the button on, it turns on, And this light will come on for like 16 hours a day, and it will let you know when the water is low and when you need to add plant food. That's the only thing that the smaller system does. So these smaller systems, in my opinion, are a lot better for growing things like lettuce and herbs that don't really need a lot of attention. As I stated before, these are blank pods. So you can buy a kit that brings 50 of each, and it also brings 50 of these stickers that you can put on top. They're kind of like a lid. And it also actually brings a small dome that you put on top of these, and I'll show you that in a second. Now all you have to do with these pods, you can see that there's a little hole in the middle there. You grab your seed. These are my cilantro seeds. Just grab your seed, put it in the hole in there, and then push it down about 1/4 inch or so, or 1/8 of an inch roughly. All right, and then what will happen is you take this, you put it in here, you cover it with a sticker, and then you have a pod that's ready to go. All right, now that these pods are all ready to go, all we have to do is fill our Aerogardens with water, put some plant food in there, and set it to run. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, instead of going to the kitchen back and forth and bringing jugs of water, you can remove this right here, go fill it up, and then bring it. And then if you have to add a little bit more later on, you can do that. But you can take this off. One of the things that I like about this is that you can take these off of all of them, even the small ones, and you can take them and clean them and then bring them back full of water. And then all you have to do is add your plant food and then set your pods in there and you're good to go. And there you go. Now that we've got it pretty much full of water, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of plant food. Each kit that you buy with pods brings one of these, and it says that for the large ones, for ones that have up to 9 pods, that you want to start with 2 capfuls and then 3 capfuls every 2 weeks. So we're going to start with 2 capfuls, just like it says. Now I followed the instructions pretty well during the last time, and it worked really well. So you want to make sure that you shake this really well before you add this. Just going to add that in there. Close my cap. I'll put it right here. And now we can go ahead and place our unit in there, our pot holder. And let me show you in here. That way you'll see where the fill line for the water is. Right there it tells you where to fill your water up to, and we're about 1/2 inch low, so I'll have to add a little bit of water once we set this up. However, as you can see right here, this is telling us that our water level is about medium because it's not full to the top. You'll see that when I add more water and it gets to that fill line, you'll see that the water level will stay full. So let's go ahead and put our pods in there and then add some more water. So these here are my cherry tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put those in there, and they'll kind of like lock in there. You don't have to press really hard, but they'll lock in there pretty well. And now I'm going to go ahead and put all of my lettuce in there. And now that I've got them all in there, all we have to do now is put on the domes. Now this is what the domes look like. It's just a small plastic dome that goes over each pod. These are intended to be placed there until they germinate, but you never want to let the plant touch the top. At least that's what the instructions say. I'm assuming that the reason for putting these on is that it keeps the moisture in, and it also intensifies the light to make the seed germinate quicker. And all you do with these is you just put them on and they kind of like click on. One thing that I did forget to do before putting the domes on is I like to go ahead and add the last bit of water that I need through each pod. That way the seed gets really nice and saturated and it will have a better time germinating. Now, the medium by which the seeds grow are these guys. And all they are is they're little sponges. So these are very good at wicking the water up and making sure that the seeds are wet all the time. But I like to start them off by putting water through the top. That way I know that the seeds are really wet and it helps to start the wicking process, lifting that water up. Now, as you can see, as I put that water in, now the system is showing full. I'm going to go ahead and top it off all the way to the top of the fill line. And that is perfect. Now that we have a full system, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. You want to make sure that you put this lid on and that your water is not exposed to direct air, because the bacteria in the air will get in there and it'll give you like a slimy green water after a while. So it's important that all of your holes are covered whenever you have the system running. And if some of your holes are not filled, like some of mine are not going to be, they do sell something that you can put in there like a plug to make sure that your system is not exposed to the air. I am going to leave some of these on the smaller ones open, but only for a day or two until my plugs come in. I'll probably just cover them with a upside down dome. This system is now pretty much ready to go. There's only one other thing that we have to do. Let me show you. I went ahead and turned the power off and turned it back on, and now the system restarted and it's asking me, your Aerogarden lost power. Select the option that is best for you or that best fits. You can put my power went out and it'll go back to the previous setting, or you can put start a new garden. So I'm gonna press on start a new garden, and it says quick plant. Quick plant guides you through planting. Use this whenever you start a new garden. So you just go start, ladies and gentlemen. This is how simple it is. You just follow the instructions. It's going to ask you what time it is. You put down your local time. Then go next. It says touch the next, then select the option that best represents the type of garden you will be growing. You go next. I'm going to be doing tomatoes. Now remember, I'm just going to put these lettuces that I put here, these 6 lettuces, so that they can germinate, so that I can take advantage of the light. So we're going to go tomato. And it says, for tomatoes, your light will be on for 15 hours. Touch next, then update your on-off time as needed. Now all we have to do is hit OK. Now it's telling you to fill it up, which is already full of water. It's asking me to put the pods. I put the pods in there. Add plant food. We already did that. Congratulations, your Aerogarden is now ready to grow. Touch the OK to start your Aerogarden. Your pump will run every 11 hours when in germination mode. After 2 weeks, it shifts automatically to the best pump cycle for the planted garden. Now we're full. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how easy it is to plant an indoor garden using the Aerogarden. I'm sure that you could probably make your own system for less. I think this unit is like $199 or so. The smaller units are, I think, around $89 or $100. However, once you get to using your own seeds, like I did with my cilantro, or I'm going to do with my cilantro, it saves you a lot more money. But I think that that first time that you plant it, you're better off using the seeds that they sell, because it's a lot easier, and then you can at least get to know how to treat the plants as they're growing. And then during your second planting, you can plant your own seeds or use their own pods. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my other 4 lettuces in that small Aerogarden in the back, and my cilantro and the one that's over there in the back of this big one. What I'm going to do for now to cover these, I'm just going to put a dome upside down. And when I get those plugs that I've got ordered, I'll go ahead and replace them. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off, but I wanted to show you something on this one real quick. One thing that you want to remember to do when you're first starting a new planting and you want your seeds to germinate, you have to make sure that the light is all the way down. Well, there's a button back here that allows you to bring it all the way down. And as your plants grow, you bring the light up. And then as far as your light can go up, that's when you know that you need to start trimming your plants. Now, I just added water and plant food to this. The only thing that you need to do with these to get the pump running is to press the water. Like that. Now that's on a timer on its own. You see, I just heard the pump turn on. I'm not sure if you heard that or not. But now that's on a timer, just like this one, except you have more control over the big one than the small one, but it's on a timer for the light and for the pump. And once you need plant food, it'll ask you to give it plant food by turning red. And once you need water, if you're running low water, it'll ask you to feed it water by turning red. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is my winter planting. I will keep you guys updated as to how it's doing. I'll do a quick video to show you when it's germinating and what it looks like for those of you that may not be familiar with these systems. And then I will keep you updated all the way to the time where they actually start producing lettuce, cilantro, and tomatoes. Having said that, thank you very much for joining in. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments in case I didn't cover something or forgot to cover something. I'll be more than happy to try to answer for you. If you guys are looking for these, I do have them in my Amazon storefront. Why? Because I think they work really good. And for the price of lettuce here and cherry tomatoes, this is a very good investment for us. And tell you the truth, it tastes a lot better than the stuff that we get at the store, believe it or not. All right, thank you very much for joining in. I hope you guys have a great day. We will see you guys on Sunday during our live stream at 12 p.m. Alaska time. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place. And you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I'm out. Oh, I forgot to show you guys my last bounty. I was waiting for those green tomatoes to ripen on the vines, but the plant did not want to die, and it was just way overgrown. So I went ahead and took these off. If you want your green tomatoes to ripen quickly, just put them in a brown paper bag and keep it closed. Its own gases will help them to ripen from the inside out. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this many tomatoes here, at least $5 here at the store. At least. Okay? I've gotten this amount at least 10 times over. From the beginning to the end of my first tomato planting. So that's why I say that I think it's worth it.